Marquette fans showed up early today to say thanks to Jay Crowder and Darius Johnson-Odom, the two seniors playing their final home game as Marquette and Georgetown battle for second place in the Big East. Welcome to Big East Basketball, presented by PNC. And this afternoon, we welcome you to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as we drop the curtain on the regular season in the Big East. Number 7 Marquette against number 12 Georgetown. Syracuse already wears the crown for the regular season. They close with Louisville today. And Notre Dame wrapped things up last night. A ton at stake here today between Georgetown and Marquette. Hi, everybody, along with Mike Kelly, the former defensive wizard from the Wisconsin Badgers. I'm Mike Gleason. It's always great to have you with us. Two different styles today, Mike. What do you expect to see?
You know, I think it's two teams where you kind of know what you're going to get, and Georgetown's going to try to run their very patient offense, make a lot of good reads. And then for Marquette, they always want to pressure, and that's even more important against this Georgetown offense. They can't let them get comfortable.
Marquette's coming off a loss to Cincinnati. Got their usual performance, however, from Jay Crowder with 26.
Mike, Jay Crowder is my pick for Big East Player of the Year, and I think as you watch him, we've seen him this season just become the foundation that Marquette builds everything around. Offensively, as a big guy, they play him at the 4. Now that means he's a tough matchup. He can step out. Opposing fours don't want to guard him. And then on the defensive end, he leads the league in steals. Really been a tremendous season for Jay Crowder. Now for Georgetown, Jason Clark has got to be that guy. All season, he's been the guy to score for them, and I think especially on the road in a top 12 matchup, he's got to be the one player on this Georgetown team that when they need a bucket, he can create for himself, he can get inside. Not everything has to come from just within the offensive structure for Jason Clark.
Well, he used to play in the shadows to Chris Wright and Austin Freeman. Now this is his team, and these fans here in Milwaukee couldn't wait to get inside this building. Back to Georgetown and Marquette after this. Ice is melting, meaning March Madness is just around the corner, and things should really heat up inside the Bradley Center. And Mike Kelly, what have you carved out for your one-on-one today?
A couple of guys who meant a lot to both of their programs. Also, two of the best shooting guards in the conference. Jason Clark for Georgetown. You see him in points per game, just under 15, and prolific score, as well as Darius Johnson-Odom on senior day. Started the day 1 point behind Kevin Jones, trying to get that Big East scoring title.
Well, Georgetown comes in 22-6. Here's the starting lineups right now. Jason Clark, the leading scorer. Otto Porter, the freshman, the leading rebounder. Henry Sims, the big man, the leading assist man. And as you take a look at Marquette, I think I said Jay Crowder had 26 against Cincinnati. He had 26 against West Virginia, 17 and 12 against Cincinnati. But Darius Johnson-Odom, keep an eye on him. At the end of the day, he could be the Big East scoring champion. John Thompson III in his 8th season. 5 wins this year over top 25 competition. Obviously Marquette number 7 in the country, so he's looking for number 6. And Buzz in just his 4th season, 25 and 10, 22 and 12, 22 and 15, and right now 24 and 6 as they try to lock up that second place finish in the Big East and that number 2 seed in the Big East tournament. So what's at stake? Well, Mike, there's a ton at stake here today.
Well, everybody wants to. Nobody can finish first at this point, but we got a couple of cases for second place. Could be a tie. If Marquette wins this game, they'll win outright. And I have to say, before we even tip the ball, Mike, this is an absolutely electric atmosphere. I haven't seen the Bradley Center like this in a long time.
March Madness atmosphere. Pat Driscoll, Bob Donato, Chris Beaver will be wearing the striped shirts, blowing the whistles, and this basketball game is underway. Darius Johnson-Odom in conference games came in averaging 19.0. Kevin Jones, West Virginia, 19.1. That's how close the race is for the scoring title in the Big East this year. Well, baseline jumper. First shot goes for Jameel Wilson.
Yeah, good start for Marquette. This is a team that I think plays best. They get on runs. This crowd will get behind them. And now the key for Marquette also on the defensive end, they've got to apply some pressure, especially to Henry Sims when he gets the ball right there.
Well, John Thompson III saying that every play starts with Sims at least getting a touch.
Yep.
Lubick with the left hand. Thompson might have got away with a travel. Doesn't matter. Here comes Marquette in transition. Jay Crowder. Well, Mike, what about the keys for Georgetown?
Well, I think anytime you come on the road for Georgetown, you want to control the pace, right? You can't let Marquette get out and run. Marquette may be the fastest team outside of North Carolina in the country, not just the conference. And then get to the free throw line. Another way, Mike, in which you slow the game down. Get to the free throw line. Try and slow the pace as much as you can and control it. Not turn the ball over against this pressure.
First game against Cincinnati, this Marquette team had 31 fast break points. Not even close in that loss to Cincinnati. And Buzz Williams saying that their transition defense was non-existent, which is pretty uncharacteristic for this team.
Yeah, that was surprising. I think if you know about Marquette and their program, they just always play so hard, especially on defensive end. And didn't have it. Sometimes you play those games.
We talked about the electricity inside this building. Well, if Marquette gets off on a run, even Mick Cronin said sometimes his team looked like they were scared at times. This place is crazy. 2 on the shot clock. Thompson. Lubick tries to keep it alive, unsuccessfully. What about the keys now for the Golden Eagles?
Well, a lot of similar keys for Marquette. It's always paint touches on the offensive end. Want to get it in lane. There's a paint touch. And then turkeys. That's a Buzz Williams term. He calls 3 defensive stops in a row is a turkey. And so they're trying to get those throughout the game. It's one of the ways they create that momentum. And so they chart it. They know exactly how they're doing throughout the game.
For 3 shooting. That's the first turnover for Marquette. They had 17 against Cincinnati, which ties a season high. I guess in a way you could say season low for the head coach. And the rookie knocks down the first shot for the Hoyas.
Well, it's a nice looking shot. Now, Otto Porter had a very good game against Marquette the first time around. I know Marquette has a lot of respect for his game as a freshman.
John Thompson III saying he's more prepared than any other freshman he's ever coached. Porter, as Crowder takes it in and one, and listen to the crowd.
Tell you what, just about anything that Jay Crowder and DJO do in this game that's good, this crowd is going to try and reward them for their hard work, their great careers, and a good start here for Jay Crowder. I thought DJO passed up a good look at a 3, and Jay did the same thing. Looks like he's got a chance to get a 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
Foul on Lubick, his first. Crowder came in with 956 points. Could become the 5th player in school history to join the 1,000-point club in just 2 years. That's pretty impressive.
I like this full-court pressure here out of Marquette. I think it's just another way you can kind of keep Georgetown out of their half-court offense, which is so good.
Vanderbilt. Georgetown needed that one to quiet this crowd down.
Holy cow, this place is going crazy 3 minutes in. Georgetown coming off 2 very good defensive performances. They will test just about any offense if you get them in the half court.
Doesn't fall for DJO. Yeah, Notre Dame only scoring 41 points.
That was impressive out of Georgetown. You know, Mike, they stay in front. They don't take too many risks. They're very smart defensively.
This is Porter.
The matchup with Cadogan down low against Henry Sims. There it is.
Looking for that open man, and they find it for a 3. As Hollis Thompson knocks down his 52nd this year.
Right, but how about the presence of mind of Henry Sims not to force anything? He had the point guard Cadogan on him, and instead of getting the ball, most guys would try and get their points there. He had it for a half a second. He kicked it out for a step-in 3. Very good job by Henry Sims.
That's a great point you bring up. They said last year's team, according to some of the players, as Crowder's going back to the line. Inside 16 minutes, DJO.
Well, on senior day, Jay Crowder pumped up, the fans pumped up. Hey, hands off. Defensive team, he saw a 50-44 score. That was a game I think was more important for West Virginia.
Yeah.
That team had been really struggling. And USF, with what they've done, winning at Louisville, beating Cincinnati at home, I think they've done enough to get into the tournament, but West Virginia needed some wins.
I agree wholeheartedly. West Virginia, UConn. I haven't heard much talk about West Virginia, UConn. It was all about USF. Crowder knocks down his fourth.
Interesting to see what happens with UConn today. Jim Calhoun back a little over a week from a back surgery, and he is going to be on the sidelines coaching today.
Incidentally, that West Virginia victory, Kevin Jones finished with 18 points in that game. Again, a reminder, he came in averaging 19.1.
Oh, nice save.
And DJO came in averaging 19.0. Markel Starks in the ball game now. This is the third straight game he has not started for Georgetown. This is Starks. Against Marquette.
Yeah, it's the second time Cadogan has been isolated down low against Henry Sims. That's not a switch that they want to make, but it's happened now, and Cadogan just he's doing everything he can to try to keep the ball out of there, but it's hard to compete with the size.
Young man, you were talking about Porter earlier. His junior year in high school, in the state championship game, 29 points, 35 rebounds.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. That was a season for me.
Thompson knocks down another three. Remember, it was his big three that gave Georgetown the 73-70 win over Marquette in the first game.
You know, beyond the points, obviously on offense, you hit a shot, you're happy, but it's one way to slow down Marquette. You make some buckets. If you start missing a long shot, long rebounds, this Marquette team will just kill you. It's a track meet all of a sudden.
Wilson rattles out. You know, Thompson hitting 2 threes already, Mike. He was 0 for 6 in his last 2 games, 0 for 4 against Nova. Only took 2 against Notre Dame, so that's got to do wonders for his confidence.
I like his size. A guy with his size able to step out, hit a three. A lot like Jay Crowder. Tough to block a shot like that. Wow.
It looked like he even jumped. He got above the rim. So Marquette throws it away. 12-9. Big Henry Sims gets a touch.
Yeah, this is just a pick and roll here. Nice job with the give and go. Hollis Thompson saw it all the way. And what happens, Mike, when you're playing against this Georgetown team now, you get so nervous, you get kind of wrapped up in your own head about what they're going to run, what they're going to do. You find yourself out of position, not necessarily on the ball, but off the ball, and that's why Henry Sims got all the way in the bucket.
Always looking over your shoulder, huh, for that backdoor cut.
Marquette worked really hard at shoot-around this morning, and not trying to worry so much about what Georgetown's going to run. They said, we have to control what they're doing with our defense. If we let them decide, we're in trouble.
Wilson down on the baseline. There's a block by Georgetown. Let's take a look now. Our Big East leaders brought to you by PNC for the Achiever in You.
You see the Kevin Jones and DJO battle right there, both 19 points per game. That is updated through today's game. Crowder, 17.5. Truck Bryant.
So DJO, he had 17 against Cincinnati. So Kevin Jones with 18, slips from 19.1 down to 19.
See Georgetown in the 2-3. Jamil Wilson, Jay Crowder, so good together against the
beautiful pass, huh?
Yeah. That's the one thing a lot of teams have tried to go 2-3 against Marquette. It's not a bad idea, I don't think. The only problem is when Jamil Wilson and Jay Crowder are in there, those two guys are just tailor-made to play inside against the 2-3 zone.
Thompson picks up his first, but Georgetown now with 4 team fouls already here in the first half, and Marquette a 72% free throw shooting team, actually 73 in conference play, which puts them at number 2. Four for 4 Marquette is from the free throw line so far. As Wilson, he's a 73% shooter. The transfer from Oregon And Mike, over his last 6, averaging about 11 points, 5 rebounds a game.
You know, last year when he sat out as a transfer, they talked a lot about his game in practice and at times being the best player on the practice floor. And I think it took a while this season to get back used to the game setting. But as the season has wore on, he's continued to get better and better. His jump shot's coming along.
I'll tell you this, early on, he's been aggressive down there on the baseline. Earlier in the season, just one of the boys. Now he's looking for that ball on the offensive end.
I was watching the shot clock, just barely under 10 seconds. Georgetown able to get it over. Give credit to the Hoyas, though. This crowd was on fire to start the game, and they have found a way to settle them down.
Well, back in D.C. in January, Marquette had a 17-point lead evaporate against this Georgetown team. Marquette just 3 for 8 from the floor so far. Cadogan loses control out of bounds. Last touch by Georgetown. Golden Eagles still have 13 on the shot clock.
It's a tough shot for Cadogan. He's Buzz Williams really loves Cadogan, what he brings just in his leadership. Kind of an extension of the coach on the floor.
Crowder, nice hang time. He's got 7 already. Thompson, that's a 2 and it goes.
It's a nice shot. I was surprised when he passed up the 3, but nice little rhythm dribble there to get the 2. Job by Starks. Good vision. Help side defense. All about vision.
Mike Bray, the head coach at Notre Dame, saying after the Georgetown game that they might be the best defensive team in the Big East right now. And there's some good ones.
No, I think so. I don't think you get much of an argument there. Certainly the way they've been playing, hard to argue with it.
Coming into the weekend, USF led in scoring defense. Georgetown was second, but Georgetown in field goal percentage defense, top of the charts. Wilson. That goes for a 3. Mike, that's only his 9th this year.
Yeah, what a weapon, though. He's continued to stretch out his game. Stepping out to 3 and hitting those, but he's been in games previous, now past couple weeks, Mike's going 15, 18 feet, now 3.
Second chance points. Missed opportunities. No points there for Georgetown. Here comes Marquette. They had the 3-on-2, and Starks picks up the foul.
This game's starting to open up a little bit. Jamil Wilson, good vision, nice feed. Buries the 3 and puts Marquette back on top by 2.
Well, Hollis Thompson off to a good start.
Well, you watch him, and he's just been shot ready. Tony Bennett, coach at Wisconsin, he was an assistant, one of the best 3-point shooters all time in college basketball, said you have to fight for your feet, Mike. You got to be ready when you get it. Your feet have to be set. And we've seen Hollis Thompson now 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. It's because he's fought for his feet. He's been ready to receive that basketball and knock down the shot.
You know, it's funny. I said he was 0 for 6 in his last 2 games. This should do wonders for his confidence. But maybe I stand corrected, because whenever he's not hitting a shot, he's always had that attitude like the next one's going to fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Shooter's got to have it.
So Georgetown 22-6, 12-5 in the league. Marquette 24-6, 13-4. And look who's on the floor, Devontae Gardner. He gets a standing ovation. How about that?
Yeah, pretty nice. Well, he had been stepping up the amount of minutes he's been practicing. Now, the big question is, I mean, I watched him practice today. Certainly he was limited, I would say, but he was out there. He was working with them. I think this is a tough game, a tough matchup. Georgetown for Devontae Gardner, because of the way they make you guard. I'm guessing here that Buzz Williams will go to a zone, a little 2-3 look, just so Devontae Gardner doesn't have to get out on the perimeter. They don't run him off too many screens.
Marquette now perfect, 7 for 7 from the stripe. In Big East play before the injury, Gardner was averaging 12 points, about 6 rebounds. Another steal for Marquette. comes off that bench. Says, Coach, lead me in, lead me in.
We may not see if Marquette's going to go 2-3 zone. Georgetown's got to get into their half-court offense. This pressure really working so far. Nice job, Marquette. They just continue to apply that pressure, apply the pressure. Getting some steals. Jay Crowder with another one.
Biggest lead for Marquette in the ball game now at 6 points, and this is where Georgetown has to show some poise. Packed house inside the Bradley Center, and these fans are jacked up.
Smart. Did you see what happened there? They attacked it on Devontae Gardner's side. Now, as the big guy, he's back there with Crowder. Crowder can come up and use his speed, but Gardner's just going to lay back. That's the way you want to attack that press.
Whittington. Down to 2. And it's an air ball and a shot clock violation.
Marquette was in man-to-man defense there, Mike. And Devontae doing a good job of talking. It's the one thing you can see. He's almost testing out his knee, kind of walks gingerly as he was going up the court. If you're not all there physically, you do have to communicate even more. And he was doing that time on that possession, I should say.
Jabril Trollock gets the air ball, but I don't think as a team they were cognizant of the fact that they were down to a second on that shot clock until he just jacked it up. Marquette now, they've scored on 5 of the last 6 possessions. Gardner misses his first shot, but gets the rebound. Almost had a brand new 35, but he didn't draw iron. So DJO. And here's a jump ball. Possession arrow goes back the other way, however, to Georgetown. But Buzz has to love the hustle.
Yeah, you could see the reaction from Buzz Williams. Even though they won't retain the basketball, that's the type of energy hustle plays that Buzz Williams, all coaches love. John Thompson III certainly has his work cut out for trying to substitute everybody in appropriately. Get the right guys in there that can break this pressure.
And Whittington goes right back out. So Whittington led the team in scoring in their last victory against Notre Dame. Thompson. Henry Sims with another flush. That's his second. And Mike Horace Broadnax, head coach at Savannah State, former Hoya, said he didn't even have Sims in his starting report when they opened up the season. Sims wound up with 19 points and 6 assists in that game.
Who did the scouting report? That's not good. You watch Georgetown after they're breaking the pressure. I mean, it's the one thing you can do to try and take a team out of the press is score. And the other end, good pass by Hollis Thompson. It was a good save, though, almost a turnover. They turned it into points.
Your point's well taken, but it was the first game of the season. Broadnax was saying that he had no idea.
Okay.
Sims,
we'll give him a pass, I guess.
He tripled his numbers this year as Lubick misses from the line.
Just as long as he made it on your boards right here. That's what matters, Mike.
Checking in for Marquette, number 2.
Devontae Gardner was out quickly. Actually, in the brief time Devontae Gardner was on the floor, he only had to play 1 possession in half court because of the steals and the full court press Marquette applied.
Hollis Thompson, after the miss by Lubick. Clark still looking for his first bucket. He leads the team. He's scoring. This is Clark, and he loses it. Here come the Golden Eagles, and they're flying.
Boy, that's a nice finish. That's a tough finish, too. You saw Otto Porter there was given pretty good chase to get down. Watch the big guy run the floor. I thought he was going to come up with the block. Avoided, for the most part, contact. In fact, I'm not even sure where he got Vanderbilt. Maybe a little bit with the hip. Down below, he avoided the contact up high, which is what most guys end up doing, is fouling up near the ball, going for the block.
Porter's their leading rebounder. He has 2 fouls now, and Vanderbilt with 5 here in the first half after finishing a 3-point play. Sims keeps it alive, and I think Clark might have got away with a travel there, Mike. He kind of slid his foot. There's Porter. Really poised young man.
Yeah, what a nice player. He just continued to be more and more impressed as the season has wore on. He's a guy who just can't keep off the floor because of what he does. He's just a freshman.
Bucket for the Hoyas. Cut this deficit to 3 now. Thompson is going to the line shooting 2. Today's Big East game is being produced and distributed by ESPN Regional Television Incorporated. So Wilson picks up his first foul and Thompson goes to the line.
Thompson played a nice game so far, Mike. A lot of strength on that play. He had the shot fall for a 3-point play.
8:17 to go, and he's got 9 points already, 3 rebounds. And Whittington comes back in. Whittington, as we mentioned, 15 points against Notre Dame, but just 1 rebound. And John Thompson III said after the game he fell in love with his scoring, but he forgot to do the other stuff. Then he did pay it off with a little wink. So I think that's a little tongue-in-cheek.
That's not the first time a guy's fell in love with scoring either, by the way. That's a love affair that will continue for a while.
Gardner back on for Buzz Williams. Wilson goes out. You know, Marquette coming off a loss, of course, but when they were on a roll, winning 5 straight, Buzz had a good point. You know, Gardner, when do you bring him back? How's his conditioning? You going to mess with the chemistry with a 5-game winning streak?
I think you make a great point. I mean, Marquette had played, for one, they've been playing so well, they were winning every game. But now you're at the part of the season where you want to work him back in, regardless of how well you had been playing, and maybe he's not 100%. You just got to get used to put him on the floor, and the guys used to having him there and get him ready for game time because the NCAA tournament's right around the corner.
Wow. Thompson again with the left hand. Doesn't go down, but nice move. There's Gardner.
Did you see him just discard the Georgetown player down low? Could have been a foul, really. Gardner's just so big. Anytime he's in there, Mike, he just moves people out of the way.
Little push this time by Gardner, but Gardner's in the scoring column.
Well, he picks up a foul on the defensive end, but watch him here on the putback. Just throws Henry Sims out of the way, and Gardner with the putback.
Back inside the Bradley Center, Marquette by 7. Now, Mike, take us inside the play.
Well, anytime you play Georgetown, nobody wants to play against their half-court offense. It's just so difficult to defend. So Marquette is going to apply some pressure. Now, you watch here as they bring the ball up the floor. Marquette's showing the trap. Now, if you pause it here, what you'll see, you've got 2 things. One, Jay Crowder at the top right of your screen. He leads the league in steals. You don't want to attack it on his side. The other thing at play is just off the screen is Devontae Gardner there under the paint. You want to break the pressure away from the side that Jay Crowder is on, Mike. That'll make it a little bit easier because Devontae Gardner, or no matter who it is, as long as it's not Jay Crowder, you've got a much better chance to break it without that steal and somebody putting their hands in there like Jay Crowder did.
Mike Kelly, he had 95 steals the year that he led Wisconsin to the Final Four. What did Crowder come in with, 70?
He had 7. He's got 2 already. He's at 72. He's going to give me a run.
Did you go out there and remind him you had 95?
No.
Jason Clark still looking for his first points. Georgetown's backcourt scoreless so far. This is Clark. And he'll be going to the line.
Well, Clark's really taken some abuse. Every time he drives in, he has continued to get knocked around. He's a pretty strong player, but you wonder if that's going to wear it down. Very tough to absorb that much contact every time you get in the lane.
Foul went against Todd Mayo, the freshman from Huntington, West Virginia. So Marquette with the 5 team fouls, and Jason Clark gets his first point of the afternoon.
I don't know if there's a player as respected around the conference as Jason Clark. I mean, he's been a guy for Georgetown that even last year, and had Chris Wright, Austin Freeman, people still raved about Jason Clark because of what he brought, those intangibles. Just a great person. You talk to all the Georgetown people, and they love him for what he stands for, not just his game. He's a great player, obviously, but certainly been a good addition to this Georgetown program.
Well, John Thompson III saying that he agreed that he played in the shadows of Chris Wright and Austin Freeman, but he said he was dominant in those shadows as well. Clark only 46 points away from cracking the top 20, and you might say, well, that's top 20, but Georgetown's had a lot of good scores. They've had 4 2,000-point scores. Gardner. He's going to bring down the house with his second bucket.
You know, that's an example. That's why I kind of chuckle. There are people that would suggest perhaps Marquette was better without Devontae Gardner on the floor. And I just think that's ludicrous. He brings so much. They're a different team without him and with him, but they're certainly not better without him.
Yeah, Buzz said he had to coach 3 different teams this year.
Yep.
2 post players, 1 post player, no post players. Set on the shot clock now for the Hoyas. It's down to 5. Sims.
Boy, that's got to be a foul.
I'll tell you, they've got great hustle, but they got to start boxing out down here. So if the Big East tournament started today, this is the way the pairings would look right now. The double buys would go to Syracuse, Marquette, and Notre Dame. West Virginia locked up a single bye here this afternoon.
The winner of this game will get the 2 seed. And I was talking with Buzz Williams about, does it matter as far as this bracket goes if you're 2 versus 4? If Marquette loses, they're 4. Not really. I mean, to him, that wasn't a big deal as much as both of these coaches, John Thompson III, Buzz Williams, they want to win because they want to finish second. He takes some pride in finishing second. And then you also want to get on a roll at the right time. We've seen it how many times, Mike, the team that gets hot at the end of the season can go on a big run, a long run in the NCAA tournament.
I've had 2 coaches in the last couple of weeks roll their eyes at me, and 2 players from their teams agree with me, but I'm a player. I'll take the single bye. Get me out there, play some ball. I mean, the coaches want the double bye, obviously.
Say, yeah.
Especially in the Big East tournament.
Well, players want to play. But no, I think you take the double bye. It's interesting because
you're
we've
older
seen
now. You're not a player anymore.
We saw what UConn did last year. I mean, you can continue to win all the way through, and these kids are used to playing. But you play that game, it's one more game you can lose.
It's one more game you can win on your resume and look back with great memories. Clark pulls the trigger, rattles down to 3, his first field goal.
Tough shot. Really tough shot. Hard to challenge when he is able to catch and shoot that quick.
Crowder. Well, he's got great body control, huh? Drifting away.
Georgetown foul on Hollis. Thompson, second personal.
So Thompson picks up his second. That was a shooting foul, but keep in mind that that's the 17th foul now. So Marquette will be in the bonus. But again, Crowder will get 2 with 5:32 to go here in the first half.
It comes off of another paint touch. One of Buzz Williams' keys every game, getting down in the lane. Not only good things happen in terms of scoring, but picking up fouls on the other team. And as you mentioned, Georgetown in the bonus early.
Crowder with 8. Thompson for Georgetown with 10.
A lot of dreadlock ponytails in the student section today, by the way. That seems to be the costume of choice. An homage to Jay Crowder. Well earned.
How about Marquette, huh? 10 for 10 from the stripe.
Not too shabby.
That's better than your 74%. All right, I'll get off your back. You have good numbers.
That'll make the free ones.
You have 114 assists, 95 steals. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, boy. See, now I'm going to get some heat for all this. You got to stop.
Well, push from behind. And I believe it's going to be the freshman Whittington.
You had just mentioned how Georgetown had been doing a nice job getting to the offensive glass, and I think we saw there just a little over-exuberance. John Thompson III talking to his players.
Well, Buzz Williams saying Cincinnati not so much lobbing it in, but they got way too much penetration. So they were in the paint the whole evening. And so Crowder now with 9 points and 4 rebounds. A perfect 10 for 10. They finally move in the bonus, and they missed their first. Boy, Clark playing down with the bigs. Sims is one of the bigs, and over the back, he's going to the line. So attention golfers and club pros, online registration now open for the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge. Log on to ESPNGolf.com to sign up and find a participating course near you. Wilson picked up the foul. That's going to be his second.
Pretty impressive what this Georgetown team has done, don't you think, this season? They were picked
10th.
Very low, yeah, 10th. preseason, and John Thompson III is just kind of stuck true, as you'd expect, to the principles of the program. I mean, they go out there, they haven't done anything differently, but I think what you have to be impressed by is the way he's got this group to gel so well. And a lot of people around the program look back on their trip in the summer to China. It's one of those trips that brought everybody together. And I'm not even talking about the adversity that they face there. I'm just saying, when you go on one of those trips, and I went on one, it brings the team closer together, and you can see it in the way they play.
But that brawl did help. JT III said you'd hope not literally that this team would fight for each other, but that brawl, they really brought them together.
Yeah, it brings people together, absolutely.
I think if somebody was picking on you, and I stood up for you, we might get closer after the game. There's a block, much to the chagrin of this full house here inside the Bradley Center. Devontae Gardner picks up the foul. It's going to be his second.
Boy, really quick move, quick first step from Jason Clark in the corner. And he went baseline.
That puts Georgetown in the bonus now. Hollis Thompson off to a quick start, 10 points. And Jay Crowder back-to-back Big East Player of the Week awards. First player in the Big East to do that. When Thompson won that award back in December, he shot 58% from three. Wow.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. Gardner says, give me the ball. I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, and then he winces on the way down.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Buzz Williams going to be very conservative, I think, this game. How much he lets Devontae Gardner. He's already seen he's back. I mean, he knows how to score. Everybody knew that. The question, I think, was on the defensive end in a tough game, how he could do it.
Gardner pulls down the rebound. Is he wincing in pain or exhaustion?
No, I think pain. I think he's just running a little gingerly.
Marquette looking inside. 18 paint points so far. Cadogan outside the paint.
Nice job by Sims. Way to go up and get it, too, with Gardner on his back.
We're going to keep it here with 3:15 to go. John Thompson III calling the timeout for Georgetown. 33-26. Georgetown won the first game back in January by 3, 73-70. Coming up on the Geico halftime report, Mike Kelly's Big East Player of the Year and the Newcomer of the Year, Coach of the Year, first half stats and highlights. That's all coming up in the next 3 minutes or so. Mike Gleason along with Mike Kelly, the former Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten Conference. Your thoughts so far in this ball game? Georgetown, it looked like Marquette was going to run away early, but Georgetown has kept their poise.
I'm impressed with Georgetown and their poise, really. I mean, Marquette with this packed house, as you mentioned, this crowd has been crazy just to start the game, and Georgetown has just kind of continued to play the way they want to play. There's been a lot of contact, too. I think Georgetown has absorbed, and no fouls called, but they played within themselves, and John Thompson III, I think, has his team in a good position. Now, got to start putting the ball in the basket.
Other side of the coin, Buzz Williams saying that 31 fast break points in their first meeting with Cincinnati, only 5 in the loss to Cincinnati. They're getting up and down the court pretty well.
They are doing what they can. They're picking their spots, and I think that's all you can do. I mean, Georgetown is not going to let you run the way you want to run if you're a running team, but when they have opportunities, and their press has certainly helped to speed up the game as well. And there's that contact I was talking about. That allowed that. Now there's a foul call.
3 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Marquette on top, 33-26. Back inside the Bradley Center, 33-26. Marquette on top of Georgetown, and Mike Kelly, Devontae Gardner. He's missed one shot, made 3.
Well, that's his game, really. I mean, he gets down low. All his shots are inside about 5-7 feet or closer. And he's got such a great touch, and that's the one thing that I guess is impressive, if anything, Mike, is how much he has sat out, hadn't played at all for a while. Now they've been working him back into practice, but to step in and keep that touch. I mean, I guess shooters always know how to shoot. That's the way you were, I know, when you got in the game. And Devontae Gardner the same way. Get him the ball. He uses that strength, and he's going to put it in the basket.
I never got into the paint. Give me the ball, I might shoot it, but it'd be on the perimeter.
Well, good sign for Marquette to have Devontae Gardner back on the floor and playing the way he's played. Actually, he's the only bench guy to score in this game, Mike. 6 points.
That's a good point. Georgetown averaging about 19 off the bench. Net gun man is still looking for his first point after scoring 15 against Notre Dame. La Jolla's only 5 of 10 from the stripe, while Marquette's 10 of 11 now.
DJO, we mentioned the scoring race. He hasn't really forced. I give him credit. A lot of guys who go out there and be firing every time they touch it.
Well, I'm sure nobody told him how Kevin Jones did.
Oh, yeah, right.
Clark doesn't have numbers, finishes anyway.
Boy, great finish by Clark. That's a silly foul, though. You got to be smarter than that. Great job by Clark. Opportunistic. The trap causes the steal. Now, Clark's going to get credit for it, but it was the trap that actually caused it. You can hear the slap there as DJO came right down on Clark's arm.
Marquette now with 9 team fouls, so 1 away from the double bonus. And Clark, who had a very slow start offensively, if he hits this, he'll have 8 points. Excuse me for jinxing the
There
young
you
man.
go. The announcer jinx always works.
We're talking about that scoring race. Jay Crowder, 26 points in Morgantown at West Virginia. Kevin Jones, 12 points, 6 rebounds. And there's Crowder now in double figures with 11. The reason I bring that up is Kevin Jones has lived with the double-double. Just 12 points, 6 rebounds. That's a heck of a job on him.
Yeah, he's put up some big numbers this year.
Lubik's foul going to the rack. Fans, be sure to check out JustLetGo.com for savings on vacations at Florida's #1 beach resort, Tradewinds Islands Resort. In St. Pete Beach is your destination to just let go. Surprising, Nate Lubick wasn't even looking for a shot earlier in the game, and well, he gritted his teeth, and he was definitely going to the rack.
Tell you what, Lubick's a guy that I'm a little surprised hasn't taken more of a step from last year. I mean, I think just about anybody that watches him play loves the energy, loves the passion, the way he plays. I mean, I think he quickly, as a freshman, got people to sort of sit up and cheer and go, wow, look at that guy, look how hard he plays. And we're expecting to take that sophomore jump. Hasn't necessarily been, I mean, he's played well, certainly, don't get me wrong, he hasn't played bad, but it's a guy that I think you're expecting to continue a really high trajectory because of that intangibles. Kind of reminds you of a Tyler Hansbrough type, just always playing hard.
Point well taken, and he's admitted that he struggled with his confidence a little bit, especially earlier in the season. And sometimes new faces, new places.
Yep.
It's chemistry. It's and Porter's taken some of that energy.
I was going to say, you took the words out of my mouth. I think Otto Porter is taking up some of that production, and they've worked in tandem. And the one thing you say about both of those guys is neither are selfish players. I mean, as long as the team's doing well, they're happy.
Well, we welcome and thank our Big East Network fans watching on 41 affiliates throughout 17 states and across the nation on ESPN Full Court, ESPN3, and Watch ESPN app. Last foul went against Sims as Vander Blue picks up his 6th point. Sims now with 93 seconds to go before halftime. Mike, you and I did that game, the Seton Hall game, where Vander Blue had 16 and 8. Seems like that was a waking up or coming out party for him.
You know what, too? You just got done watching him at the free throw line. It was the game before. You hit some big free throws for him down the stretch. Funny to think, but really some big free throws, I think, turned something around, and he has hit confidence-wise, and he's continued to play well ever since.
Boy, somehow Georgetown comes up with it. And they throw it away.
Boy, pretty fortunate for Marquette there. Could have been a foul. I think should have been a foul on Jay Crowder on the perimeter. Refs let him play on, and then it ends up being a turnover on Georgetown.
Checking in for the Golden Eagles, #1,
5 turnovers now for Georgetown. They come in averaging just under 13. As Marquette tries to push their home record to 15-1.
Well, I know Darius Johnson isn't going to force, but if I'm Junior Cadogan running this offense, or Vander Blue, I'm finding a way to get him the ball, get him some shots.
One thing about DJO, all of a sudden he can run his own run.
Absolutely.
He could have like 5 points at halftime and finish up with 24 at the end of the game. 6 turnovers now for Marquette. One too many as Buzz goes to the bench. Todd Mayo checking back in.
Number 14, Henry Sims, returning from Marquette, number 4, Todd Mayo.
Well, you talk about the job that John Thompson III did earlier. 10 of the 13 players are either freshmen or sophomores. So both teams with 2 seniors. There's one right here, Crowder.
0 for 1 shot, and they will.
Final 25 seconds of the first half. Wow.
Not sure what happened here.
Well, Starks didn't hear a whistle. Somebody called the timeouts, but I didn't hear a whistle until after Starks stole it. But Marquette called the timeout. And well, this is interesting. This is the way you used to play, right? Go until you hear the whistle.
Yeah, I guess so. Not sure. There's the timeout.
Yeah, timeout was called, but I don't think there was a whistle.
Take it. And there it starts. Going for the easy steal. Didn't get it.
Play until you hear the whistle.
There you go. But how about that? 37 points for Marquette. And Georgetown, as good as they've been playing defensively, really got to credit Marquette for putting up those type of numbers. Not easy to do against this great Georgetown defense.
Yeah, 16 times. Opponent has failed to crack 60 against this Georgetown team. And again, Big East Championship, if it started today, this is how the pairings would match up, as UConn will have to battle its way, play 5 again. And Syracuse, Georgetown, Marquette, Notre Dame with the double bye. West Virginia beating USF. In case you tuned in late earlier today, there was a noon start down in Tampa, and USF was 14-1 at home. And John Thompson III.
Well, the timeout did allow Marquette to put Darius Johnson-Odom back in the game. He's down in the corner there.
Ten seconds. Darius Johnson-Odom. He has 6. The lean, the foul. He's going to the line. It'll be a 2-shot foul.
Boy, what a pump fake, too. DJ's got those just big, wide shoulders. You watch him here. Shot clock running down. You can't really blame the defense when you go up for a shot like that with time running out. You just assume the guy's going to shoot it. And here's Johnson-Odom once again with a great pump fake, gets himself to the line.
78% shooter. He's got 7. Said earlier this year, after a win or a loss, you have to have a short memory. It looks like Marquette's loss to Cincinnati in their last game is long forgotten right now. They can head for the locker room up by 10. And 10 in this building could be huge. Starts with the last shot of the first 20 minutes to no avail. There's the numbers. Your thoughts?
Well played first half. I think Marquette did a better job, though, offensively putting points on the board.
Geico halftime reports coming up. Marquette by 10.
Senior leaders, and fortunate to get guys like that, good on and off the court.
What did Buzz say a couple of weeks ago? He couldn't quantify the heart and the brain of these 2 seniors. So have both, huh? Basketball sense and hearts. Biggest lead now, 12 points, and Georgetown cuts into it. Clark to the line.
Boy, it's a nice finish there, and again some contact too, no call.
Boy, just like that, off of the made basket, Vanderblue is down like a bolt of lightning.
Hey, look at John Thompson III over there. He's going, okay, if that's a foul on one end, see what's at stake. Number 2 seed Big East tournament goes to the winner. A lot of similar contact. I actually have to agree a little bit with John Thompson III. There's been similar contact in Georgetown, not getting those calls when they go to the rim.
And Thompson, who had 10 first half points, that was his 3rd foul. As Vanderblue now with 8 points.
Vanderbilt's put together a nice season for Marquette. Started the year with scoring some points, then hit a lull there in Big East play and has rebounded from that. There's a lot of nice things for them.
Yeah, if you're looking at a puzzle, it certainly is a nice piece to that puzzle.
Yep. And that pressure not creating a turnover on this possession for Marquette, but they did keep Georgetown from starting their offense. And now there's the turnover. But even without that, it's just taking a while for Georgetown to get into their half-court sets. And that's part of that ball pressure that Buzz Williams wanted to bring and wanted to basically dictate what Georgetown was able to do.
6 turnovers now for Georgetown. Jason Clark. He's 10 threes away from moving up to number 3 all time, but he hasn't gotten one look from outside, I don't think. Or maybe one in the first half.
Yeah, not a lot of good ones.
There is Johnson Odom. Eights. Southpaw. Lights it up.
Boy, that's a good kick out there to DJO. Good vision by Cadogan. You know, Darius Johnson Odom wants to get that scoring title. He's been pretty patient. That's a good look. Going to steal here for the other senior. Going to be a technical.
Technical, but also a timeout. John Thompson III says, let's slow down, talk this over.
There's the pressure turning into points. Exactly what John Thompson III doesn't want. Nice play by Jay Crowder.
Back inside the Bradley Center, Georgetown now down 48-31. The technical for hanging on the rim after the dunk by Wilson. And Mick Cronin said after they lost here earlier this year, Mike, he said, I'll bet you a hot dog they don't lose another game. It is tough to win in this building.
Yeah, only one loss, and it's actually a convincing loss too. Vanderbilt came in and just ran Marquette off the floor. What a shocking game. Georgetown missed 5 of the last 6 free throws, and Marquette on a big run to start the second half. You're 9-2 to open the half. The last 5 points for Marquette have come off turnovers.
Thompson with 11. That's something they didn't get at Cincinnati. Points off those turnovers, and Thompson knocks them both down. So Georgetown closing out the 2012 season with 4 of their last 7 on the road. And this may be one of the tougher places to close out, especially on senior day.
When you think about how well Georgetown have been playing defensively, pretty impressive what Marquette has been able to do against that great defense.
With that being said, Mike, I know a few years ago we had Syracuse here on senior day, back when they had the big 3. Syracuse won that overtime. Marquette, as good as they've been, they've lost their last 3 senior days.
Isn't that amazing?
That is
amazing. Shocking, especially with the crowd we've seen today.
Clark. Whistle, and the foul is going to go against Wilson. That's going to be number 3 on Wilson, too.
Well, he's got his hands full there, trying to block out, get to the defensive glass. Literally had his hands full. Grabbed a little too much jersey, the ref saw it.
They're getting close to the 5 count. Thompson pulls the trigger, knocks down another 3. He's got 15.
Well, how about the answer back? After the dunk, this place was going crazy, and I got the technical, the timeout, some free throws, a 3-point play. Nice job by Georgetown of stopping the momentum.
48-36 now. Marquette on top. And Crowder keeps it alive. And Whittington says, nope, not this time. Rejection, knocks it out of bounds. Marquette basketball.
Boy, watch this play down low. Nice job by Whittington. He's got great size.
John Thompson III said when all is said and done, he could Defensive player to play at Georgetown.
You can see why. He's got good vision. He's got the automatic length that you need. Crossover.
Oh, crossover and a Georgetown foul. I was going to say someone had their ankles broke, but I don't think so. Someone didn't know what went by him.
Wow, that was something else. Junior Cadogan could have finished. Not often a layup gets on top 10 plays, but look at this crossover. Goodness. You know, if anything, the only thing that happened there is Starks guessed a little bit. He was guessing right. Didn't really fall for the fake as much as he was just assuming that was where it was going to happen. Took a guess and guessed wrong.
And guess what? Thompson just picked up his 4th. So he leaves with 4 fouls, 16:52 to go. Wow, Marquette 17 of 18 from the stripe. Wow.
That's winning basketball right there. And a big foul, as you said, 4 fouls. Hollis Thompson. Now the question will be, how long does John Thompson III keep him on the bench, especially if Marquette extends this lead?
That's a great point. Thompson's had the, if anybody has the hot hand for Georgetown, it's been Thompson.
Okay. Henry Sims caught that ball between his knees.
So the other senior trying to step up now, and Clark, but the freshman is rejected. There's going to be a reach on DJO. He thought he had all ball, and about 18,000 people inside this building thought he had all ball.
Well, this game's getting really physical, too. We're seeing some tempers, I think, start to boil over. They're just going to have to get control of this game. A lot of physical play, a lot of fouls not being called, and then when they do get called, the fans reacting to it.
DJO just picked up his 3rd. Long range shots are not falling for Clark tonight. Nice little stutter step, and the foul on DJO.
That's a mismatch there. Whittington doing what he can. He's frustrated, trying to stay in front of DJ. I mean, nobody's been able to stay in front of DJ all season on the break, and he tried to do what he could without fouling, and ended up picking up the foul.
His 3rd. So Thompson with 4. Whittington, who led the team in scoring in the last game against Notre Dame, has 3. And there's a lot of basketball to be played. Gardner. Sims gets the block. And Porter, the freshman, and 1. Boy, he took that one in hard.
Well, he continues to show. I mean, given opportunities, and that's what you want to see, Mike. Freshmen given opportunities, playing to the level they're capable of. Nice finish here. I think Cadogan might have got him on the head from behind. Hard to see it from that angle.
First half, Mike, we talked about John Thompson III saying that this is the most prepared freshman he's ever coached. He said it's a young player who actually understands the game, meaning understands the importance of the deflection, communicating on defense, a rebound. It's not all about points with this young man.
It's amazing how many freshmen come in and don't understand that part of the game. Too much AU ball for so many kids.
And he didn't, great point, he didn't play AU ball.
I think there's a correlation there.
Well, since that technical foul, it's an 8-0 run right now, and the deficit is 10 for Georgetown at 49-39. Welcome back to the Big East Network Game of the Week, our season finale. And it's a good one. Number 7 against number 12. And right now, Marquette on top by 10. Mike Gleason along with Mike Kelly. Jay Crowder right there playing his final home game in front of the Marquette faithful. And Crowder, every time we mention his name, he scores. I think that John Thompson III will ask us stop mentioning his name.
Tell you what, that's a typical 2-3 zone play that Buzz Williams called out of that timeout. Now he calls plays out of timeouts and baseline out of bounds, those type of things, special teams plays, and he's very good at drilling his guys to get good looks. I think Georgetown was in a man, but they ran a 2-3 play that worked anyway.
DeBrio Trawick gets his first bucket. Three freshmen on the floor right now for Georgetown. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Georgetown basketball. Chance to cut it to single digits now. That was Trawick, the first bench points for Georgetown, and we mentioned earlier they were averaging about 19 this season.
Gardner's going to go to the bench. Gave Marquette some good minutes in the first half. The one thing I'd say if you're Georgetown, it's going to be a travel there. Yeah.
Wow. So they get the basketball back, a chance to cut it to single digits, and they turn it right back.
There's some miscommunication there. Trawick had the ball. Nobody was cutting to it. The 5 count had already started. And that led to a little bit of sort of a panic internally. I got to get rid of this ball. Don't want to waste the timeout this early in the second half.
Gardner's back in. That was quick, Mike.
Offense, defense. That's a shot there. DJO just passed up. But most guys in his situation are going to shoot.
Whittington goes high for that rebound. Hoya's got a chance now to cut it to 8. They got it.
Boy, what a nice shot.
11 points now for the freshman Porter. You mentioned him not playing AAU ball, and some of our viewers might have fell off the couch.
Yeah, that's just not the case anymore. Everybody lives for AAU ball. They don't care about high school ball anymore, it seems.
His high school, 15 state championships. His dad, back in 1976, won the first. His uncles have several. He has 3. And in the summer, instead of playing AAU ball, he played against his dad and uncles, and said it really toughened him up. Oh, tough break for Georgetown. Trawick gets the charge.
Yeah, what a great job by Crowder, though. When didn't have many options, didn't want to pick up a foul. And how many big guys there? I mean, he sold it, obviously. All guys do. And how many big guys are able to slide their feet like that, draw a charge? When I say, a guy gets in his instincts, that's what I'm talking about. He understands how to play the game. Marquette up by 8, Mike. Remember, now Hollis Thompson picked up his 4th. They were down 13 at the time. Had a chance there to cut it to 5 if they would have hit a 3.
Georgetown on a 12-3 run. Gardner. Oh, I thought it was going to go in, but he's fouled. He'll be shooting 2. It's about time you discovered why Puerto Rico does it better. Log on to cpuertorico.com and discover Puerto Rico for yourself. Good place to go down and do some zip lining. Sims picked up his 4th. So Thompson and Sims with 4 fouls. And really, you think of the DC 3 a couple of years ago. Actually, last year, I should say. And right now, they are the 3. Thompson, Sims, Clark. 56% of their scoring, and now 2 of them with 4 fouls.
It's going to be really tough. This is going to put a lot of pressure on the rest of the Georgetown players. And John Thompson, a 3rd. I wonder if he's talking to Henry Sims, saying, you got to be smarter than that. We need you on the floor. 7 points, 8 rebounds for Devontae Gardner.
Well, that's amazing. I followed his points followed his action in the first half, but I didn't realize he had 8 rebounds. 8 points, 8 rebounds now.
Some guys just have a way of being around the basketball. The one thing I'll say, surprised more teams don't double team him. I don't think he is willing to pass out of the post like a lot of big guys are. Like Georgetown big men love passing, right? I think Gardner's got looking to score first, maybe first and second when he gets the ball.
Another steal for Marquette. Cadogan is clobbered. Helped up by his companions, and he's going to the line with a smile on his face. Jason Clark picked up the foul, his first. That's a 17th foul.
Georgetown just not prepared. I shouldn't say not prepared, not equipped to deal with the pressure that Marquette brings. I mean, they've turned a lot of teams over. But right now, this press has been very effective for Marquette. Some bad passes, bad decisions being made as they try to break it.
Marquette, especially in this building, they can be like a buzzsaw.
Good word, Buzz Williams will like that.
No pun intended. Didn't even think of that. It's Cadogan. Knocks down 2 from the line.
I thought you had a checklist there. You're knocking down your puns.
No. Only you would pick up on something like that. Nice job. And this time the foul is going to go against Marquette. As the senior goes down, Crowder picks up his second. He'll get up, which is good news, to commemorate the 30th Big East Championship presented by American Eagle Outfitters to be played at Madison Square Garden. The Big East is counting down the top 30 moments, players, and teams exclusively on BigEast.tv. For more information, log on to BigEast.org/Garden30. Another Big East tournament coming up from the Garden next week. Every year there's memorable moments, huh? I mean,
absolutely.
It's sure who's picking the top 30. That's got to be a tough assignment.
A lot of magic in the Garden. Insanity on the NBA level, and you know there's going to be some good games in the Big East tournament.
Whittington's first point after scoring 15. So he had 1 point in 23 minutes against Villanova, 15 points in 24 minutes against Notre Dame. Georgetown now 10 of 17 from the stripe.
What's this matchup here? There's Johnson now off the ball against Jason Clark. It's a good defender in Clark going against a great offensive player as well.
Trowick's going to pick up his second as Cadogan tries to take it inside the paint with some penetration. 18 fouls. So they'll be going to the line, shooting 1 and 1.
Well, some real hard fouls now taking place too. I think Trowick is a little frustrated to me. You see him and Crowder talking. Been in games like this. I mean, it sometimes happens. Guys just get frustrated, right? On both sides, you can see it. A lot of hard fouls, some fouls not being called. Electric atmosphere inside this arena. Always important to make sure everybody keeps their composure.
Well, speaking of composure, Marquette's been composed at the free throw line. 22 of 24 now for Buzz Williams. Cadogan has 4 points, all 4 from the stripe. A lot of young players out on that floor for Georgetown, huh? Down to 6 on the clock. And they won't get a shot off. Another steal for Marquette. 10 steals now for the Golden Eagles. Two nice passes and the missed shot for the foul. Oh, that was pretty, Mike.
Just an excellent job. But first on defense for Marquette, playing a full 35 seconds, taking right down to the end of the shot clock, getting the steal, and then they come down. How about this? Guys knowing how to play together. This little triangle starts with Darius Johnson, gives it up, and then gets it back at the very end. Good vision from Crowder.
Hopkins, another freshman, picks up his first. Hopkins out of DeMatha High School. And
how about the strength of Darius Johnson? I teased him at one point. I went up and talked to him about his jersey being a size too small. He said, man, they don't make it big enough for me. Those shoulders would make any jersey look tight, I think. So strong.
Oh, the guy right behind him there, too, Derek Wilson, a freshman. He's got some pretty broad shoulders as well.
He's their defensive stopper in the game right now. Always there to put pressure on the ball.
Wilson got away from a push. Got away with a push, I should say. Lubick trying to use that size. A little bit too soft. Crowder wanted that one, but Porter said he was determined to stop it.
Nice
Jason.
move.
Yeah, shots just aren't falling for Clark. There's a whistle and the foul as
Charge.
they call that on Vanderblue. Porter goes down hard. His team trailing by 13 with 11:30 to go. Back inside the Bradley Center, 58-45, and Mike Kelly. Selection Sunday is about a week away now, a week and a day. So let's take a look at this. There's one spot left in the NCAA tournament. Which team deserves it? Team on the left?
Well,
team
first
on the
off, I hope the committee doesn't do blind. I have to actually dig a little bit deeper than just 4 different categories. But, you know, strength of schedule, 23-8. Essentially, that's the same. There's not much different there. Same with RPI. I guess I picked the team on the right. They got 1 win versus the top 25. Northwestern. See, now people call me Big Ten Homer because I did that. I had no idea who that was. Both teams are going to be in, so it won't really matter. I shouldn't say that. USF's going to be in for sure. Northwestern's got a chance to be in.
And Stan Heath will be emailing you after the ball game after picking the team on the right there.
Stan, I love you. Great team. You deserve to be in.
Third largest crowd in team history this afternoon. 19,087 here on Senior Day. And right now the Golden Eagles on top by 13.
See the ball pressure Jay Crowder put on. That was a big point of emphasis in their shoot around. Not to let Henry Sims get comfortable and just pick them apart with the basketball and passing.
Sims was 7. Porter. Wilson thought about it a little bit too long, and he traveled with the basketball. He said, I got to take this shot. I'm way open. And maybe not.
Surprised he passed it up. He buried a 3 in the first half.
So Buzz Williams now watching his team turn it over 9 times. Again, they had 17 against Cincinnati for the 3rd time, but that's the only time they lost. They won both games with 17 turnovers, and one was a 30-point blowout over Ole Miss. Well, they're looking for Sims inside. It's going to be Starks and the stick back.
It's a nice follow there again. Just the little things being done right by Otto Porter. Something to keep an eye on here, though, Mike. Hollis Thompson on the ball there against DJ, playing with 4 fouls and trying to guard that's perimeter offensive play for Marquette. Now they switch off wisely, put Jason Clark on.
Team basketball, you mentioned this in the first half. Ahead that DJO has no idea how Kevin Jones did today. That scoring title definitely not on his mind as he rattles in a little runner, and he's got 14. What does he need for that crown?
I don't know if he knows, but I'm sure everybody on the bench knows he needs 6 more points, and he's got it on his own. 5 more to tie. Pretty impressive how unselfish he's been. Can't say I would have done the same. I'd be firing every time I touched it.
No, you wouldn't. Well, Marquette almost had their 11th steal.
And that's going to put them on the line as they're in the bonus.
So Sims is going to foul out now with 5 points, all in the first half. He comes in averaging 11 points and about 5.5 rebounds. That's going to be it for him. Let's take a look at our game summary, brought to you by Tradewinds Islands Resort.
You see points off turnover, 17 for Marquette. Now it's going to be a point of emphasis. Is going to be crucial to this game. Could Marquette apply that pressure, get Georgetown to turn it over, and then, of course, capitalize, and they've done so. One of the differences, and Georgetown has found themselves in foul trouble. Now their first player going to the bench, and it's a key one.
Thompson with 4, and Crowder with 2 rebounds shy of another double-double. So Sims, who's tripled his numbers from last year, only player in the Big East in the top 15 in assists and blocks. He's going to call it a day. That's a 10th foul on Georgetown, so now Marquette in the double bonus.
And you had talked about John Thompson, the third saying everything runs through Henry Sims on the offensive end. So now you got 9:33 to play. You know, lost maybe not your top scorer, obviously, but a guy who's very pivotal to your offense. Such a good passer. You know, when Georgetown came back and won the game at their place, Henry Sims was the guy that started to pick Marquette apart. Really a good passer, and they started to play on their heels defensively, Marquette, that is. So now they have to find another way to do it.
Well, DJO, a 78% shooter, misses both from the stripe. All right, Mr. Kelly, you look at Georgetown. Defense and high percentage shot. That's their mantra. You got 7 players shooting at least 45%. Who do they look for? Starks takes the shot. Clark's not having his better day. Thompson, probably Thompson, but he's got 4.
So they go to Lubick. Yeah, nice pass on the inside. Well, I think Thompson and Jason Clark are going to be the 2 guys. Got to get hot anytime you're going to try to come from behind. And Marquette on the road, got to have somebody that just gets hot. Those are the 2 most likely candidates.
The operative 3 words there, on the road, that you mentioned. They raised a 17-point deficit in D.C. on their home court.
Boy, there's no need for that foul for Jason Clark. Again, maybe just a little frustration.
Well, Marquette calls the timeout inside 9 minutes.
Oh, there was no foul there?
I thought I saw one. So again, if the Big East tournament started in Madison Square Garden today, here's the matchups. Seton Hall, DePaul would go at it. Syracuse, Georgetown, Marquette, Notre Dame with the double byes, and West Virginia, South Florida, Louisville, and Cincinnati would sit around just for one day. They get the single bye.
It'll be interesting to watch Syracuse and how they continue to progress. Played so well, had such a great season. And amazing, you know, we've talked a lot about the awards, you know, all Big East Player of the Year. And Syracuse, you really struggle to find the one guy, but you know, maybe that's their strength. And I shouldn't say maybe, I think it is their strength. You know, it's a team that you can't just shut down one player or 2 players.
Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago why I wouldn't put a Syracuse player on the for Player of the Year, and I said because I don't think they have one, but they certainly have the team of the year.
It's hard to, you know, I'm of the opinion that Dion Waiters, when he's playing his best, he's the best player they have, but certainly when you look at the numbers, you'd have a hard time picking him. Chris Joseph, you could say. Nice play here by Lubick.
Couldn't get the bucket, though. Vanderbloe's got some hops, and Lubick goes down hard. He'll be shooting 2. No intent to harm, but Vanderbloe was making sure Lubick did not score.
No, good play by both guys, actually. Lubick went up for the dunk. Nice job of going strong. Sometimes when you go for the dunk, it takes a little bit longer to get out of your hands. An excellent recovery there by Blue. Challenge at the basket, picked up the foul. Good play by Lubick.
1 for 5 Lubick is from the line. Now, getting back to Syracuse for just a second, they close with Louisville. And if Georgetown, or if Syracuse wins that game, they'll be the first team in Big East history to go through the season with just 1 loss.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
A lot of great teams.
Well, Pittsburgh won it last year with 3, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Lubick missed both. So Georgetown now 11 of 20 from the line. And they're down by 11. They could use those free throws. Vanderbloe with 7. Cadogan with 5 on the shot clock. Tries to slice his way through. Here comes Georgetown. Porter, chance to cut it to single digits. Unsuccessful.
Well, we've had some good looks here. That's a good shot by Porter. It just didn't drop.
Cadogan. And Porter thought he had all ball. Check it, Whittington. No, Porter gets charged with the foul inside 8 minutes. That's number 3 on the freshman. Back inside the Bradley Center, 7:58 to go for the rest of the 2012 regular season. Now Marquette's Georgetown playing for that number 2 seed. And right now Marquette up by 11 on senior day as the Golden Eagles try to get to 15-1 at home. Cadogan, the junior from Toronto, missed both.
Boy, Marquette had started so hot, made their first 10, I believe, and now they missed their last 4 free throws.
Well, it might be a window of opportunity here for Georgetown. Clark. Thompson, he's got 15.
And the problem is, though, with Sims on the bench, it just changes the way they're going to run things. Nice job. Nice pass. Good finish there by Porter. I'm going to have to redo my all Big East freshman team. Hey, Porter's playing on the road in a tough environment. What a player.
And he's got 15. Vander Blue fouled. You talk about road games, tough environment. Getting back to Porter, 15 rebounds at DePaul, 14 at Louisville, 13 at Syracuse. So it's not the point so much. He's got 15 today, but it's other things that JT III really loves this young kid.
You gotta like the way he sees the game. You know, we talked about Jay Crowder having good instincts, and Porter's showing the same. Not quite at that level, but he's just a freshman.
You'd mentioned Marquette missed their last 4 free throws. Vander Blue takes care of that. He moves into double figures. So he's got 11. DJO's got 14. Jay Crowder of 15. Gardner with 8. Great balance for Marquette. And Marquette 26 of 32 from the stripe.
We'll see if Georgetown can get Hollis Thompson back involved in this game. He was playing so well until the foul trouble.
Oh. Wow, somehow they converted it. I thought he was going to lose the handle.
They threw it at his ankles. Poor guy had to go down and get it. Good hands again by Porter.
Maybe that's designed, huh? Maybe the defense will freeze?
I don't think so. That'd be a terrible design.
Oh, Crowder. And one. And he says that's the easiest chance for a three-point play I've had in a while.
Boy, Whittington went down really awkwardly. Had the rebound, but just sort of crumbled. He landed a little funny. Went to the ground, had to get rid of it. Otherwise, it would have been a turnover. And so he lets go. See his leg just get kind of caught underneath him.
He's going to go out.
Well, that did not look right.
So the young freshman heads for the bench. All-Metro Player of the Year last year in the D.C. area. And Jay Crowder, the senior, with 17 points. Back on the line, averaging 24-8 over his last 5 games. So Mike Kelly's Big East Player of the Year with 18.
Well, it will be interesting to see what happens. Kevin Jones had so much momentum going because of the big numbers. And I think in the last 2-3 weeks, and there's Jay Crowder yet again. That's why I picked him as my player of the year. It's at least 4, if not 5 steals.
Twice he's had 6 steals in a ball game this year. Thompson. Whistle on the shot, so he'll be going to the line.
Just amazing to watch Jay Crowder at his size, how well he does getting his hands on basketballs, knocking things away. He's got 5 steals today. You know what's interesting, too? We talked about the Big East Player of the Year. And those ballots were due yesterday. A lot of coaches make their decisions based on how a guy has played against their team, what they've seen. Kevin Jones played very well against Georgetown. Probably Jay Crowder's biggest competition, and now John Thompson III. Who knows who he picked, but after this performance, 20 points, 9 boards, 5 steals. Either would have made him feel good about a Jay Crowder choice, or maybe had him second guessing if he would have made a different choice.
You know what's funny about that equation is that Jay Crowder ran into Bob Huggins at the junior college tournament. And Bob Huggins was the one who said, hey, that school you're at, it's not accredited. Those credits aren't going to transfer, so you got to change schools. And
isn't that something? If
Huggins hadn't told him that, then Crowder turns around and scores 26 in Morgantown. It's amazing. Watch Buzz Williams directing traffic through the entire play over there. Oh, Thompson missed the jam. A little travel by DJO, but I think this Marquette crowd enjoyed that miss as much as a Marquette bucket.
I think Hollis Thompson was just in between. You watch him here. He was kind of in between Duncan or just laying it in. That little bit of indecision may have cost him. Would have been an easy lay-in.
Cadogan backed out
Tough
of the last
break.
second. I think Thompson also thought that he was going to come right over the top of Cadogan.
Mm-hmm.
Also returning for
Well, Buzz seems satisfied with the explanation he just got. A little nod of the head.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just trying to read the referee. Maybe they've heard enough. You know, sometimes you realize as a coach, okay, I've said enough. I'll stop now.
Clark gets stripped and Porter.
Who else? I mean, every time it seems to be Otto Porter. The basketball in his hand. What a game he's put together.
Porter with 19 points. Really picked up the slack since Sims went out, too. There is Johnson Odom with 14. And he's got 6 seconds. Gives it up to his roommate. Crowder misfires. And Wilson.
Goodness.
Hopkins.
It's a nice play. Had the size advantage, just backing down into the post. And Derek Wilson tried to draw the charge. Can't blame him. I mean, there was really no use in him trying to body up. That wouldn't have worked. So as a guard, sometimes you just go, I'm going to try to sell it, see if I can get the charge. Didn't get that. But a good finish there. A chance for a three-point play.
First bucket for Hopkins in the ball game, and Crowder picks up his third now. Another young man with good size, 6'9", 223. Finishes off the three-point play. Well, Mike, it's back to single digits. But 8, 9, 10 points. It seems like Georgetown can't get any closer.
Yeah, but they won't go away either. You know, they're kind of stuck in that right around 10 points, no man's land. They'll find a way to make a run.
Cardinals moving slow.
No reset on the shot clock.
DJO. And Crowder. Oh, my. How about being Johnny on the spot? That doesn't happen by accident, does it?
No, it's well said. Some guys, you know, find themselves in the right spot all the time, and Jay Crowder doing all the little things give Marquette the lead.
South Florida down in Tampa, so they're traveling back, but I think he's going to be impressed when he sees Jay Crowder's numbers, huh?
Jay Crowder just been unbelievable. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 5 steals. Mike already led the conference, had 70 coming into this game. He's got 75 now, and you just watch how strong he is, his instincts, and as we were saying before, some guys are always around the basketball. Well, it's not an accident, you know, that they don't just get lucky. These are guys that put themselves in good position. They understand the game, and Jay Crowder, one of those players. Another double-double for him. What a game.
13th double-double in his career, 11th this year in Georgetown. 3:47. Clock is not their friend right now. With that being said, still plenty of time for Clark and company.
Boy, what a physical game, though. You watch these guys going around screens, nothing coming easy. Gotta find a way to get some stops now if you're Georgetown. Turn up the pressure just a little bit.
Wilson, 16 feet, rattles in. He's in double figures. Starks answers with a three.
Boy, what a nice shot. High release from Starks. He caught that one looking to shoot. Good answer after the nice shot by Jamil Wilson. Good defense, too, on ball there by Starks as well.
Vanderblue sees an opening, takes it, and scores.
It's a good finish with his left hand. That'll absorb some contact. Not an easy shot to make.
Thompson takes it in.
Not this. Anybody plays some defense. Back and forth, these guys go. Some big shots.
Just about to say Thompson takes it in hard with 4 fouls. You'd hate to see a player go out with a charge. But he's got 17 now in the ball game, 7 in the second half.
He's done a nice job of staying within himself, playing with 4 fouls. Now, they sat him down for a while, and we thought perhaps Marquette would stretch that lead. Instead, Georgetown clawed back, and now Thompson back in the game playing with 4.
Georgetown and Marquette playing for the second place finish, the number 2 seed in the Big East tournament, which starts next week.
Still hard to wrap your head around. We see Pittsburgh there on the left side with 13 next to their name. Who would have thought Villanova at 14, kind of a similar scenario. UConn at 10.
Yeah, UConn was a top 10 team earlier this year. So once again, they're going to have to battle. Kind of tough to do what they did last year. 5 straight in the Big East tournament, then 6 more to win the national championship.
Yeah, impressive.
It's funny, I don't think too many people saw that coming with their 9-9 finish in the Big East, but earlier this year, Jim Calhoun told me, I did.
Yeah,
Said I knew this team.
To say no.
Little push from behind on Cadogan. Out at about the top of the key.
John Thompson, a third wisely, had taken Hollis Thompson and Jason Clark out of the game. Not wanting them to foul here as this game gets closer, especially Thompson, but even Clark as well. Thinking we got to get back into this one. Don't want them picking up fouls, maybe getting to overtime situation.
Incidentally, that foul went against Strawick, his third, as Cadogan scores again from the free throw line. He's going to be in double figures all from the stripe. Shabazz Napier of UConn, the only triple-double in the Big East this year. You mentioned the numbers, and I don't think Crowder can pick up 5 steals, but can you imagine going out on senior night with a triple-double?
That'd be nice. 10 steals.
Jason Clark. Starks to Clark. This is a 3. Too soft. UJL says, I don't have to knock down the 3 to score. He's got 16. And Crowder has another rebound. He's not going to give the ball back.
Well, he might just keep on running. Well, Bo Jackson style. How about Darius Johnson? I don't know. Playing unselfishly within himself, trying to get the Big East scoring title and help his team get a victory as well. Just kind of taking the shots that have come. Got the great pump fake. As a lefty, you're always kind of off rhythm when you're defending him, and he uses that very well to his advantage. And there's the dreadlocks. We've seen many in the student section.
And the most important dreadlocks at the free throw line with 23 points. 13 rebounds and the 5 steals that Mike mentioned. Wow, it's quite the line score. Why stop there? 24 points, 13 rebounds, 5 steals. Marquette foul on Hopkins. All right, Mike, let's take a look quickly now at our Papa John's player of the game.
Well, pretty easy decision. We've talked about him a lot, and he's deserved every word that we've said. 25 points, 11 rebounds. See the steals. And I said he's my pick for Big East Player of the Year. I think he deserves it, and he's shown why today.
Hopkins, the freshman, 4 off the bench. Now, there's a quote way back when Marquette played Wisconsin this year, your alma mater. I've been sitting on this because I knew we'd be working the season finale together here. And he said this young Marquette team, they have 2 seniors. He said after the win against Wisconsin, he said the only way you can grow up is when people are standing dead on top of your neck. You have to figure out a way to breathe. Pretty much. When you think about it, that makes a lot of sense. And this team has certainly grown up this year. 13-4 in the Big East. Could be 14-4 after this ball game. Their best finish was 10-6.
They may have won 12 games a few years back. Maybe not. I'll have to check that. But I knew 13 was a record nonetheless, and 14 would just be extending it. And Buzz Williams done a nice job. And those two seniors, you got to give a lot of credit to those seniors and how much they have meant to the program on the court and off.
Another rebound. Look at that. Nope. Little push. Crowder's going back to the line.
He wasn't too far off Kevin Jones' point pace either, was he?
No.
Keeps going to the line.
And now he's got 24, so I'll let you do the math.
No, that's okay. I was told there'd be no math, and we'll stick with it.
He came in averaging just over 17 points. So again, get you caught up on that conversation we're having. The day started out, Kevin Jones of West Virginia was averaging 19.1 points a game. DJ-O from Marquette was averaging 19.0. Jones in the win over USF had 18. And right now DJ-O has 16. 4 more and he'll hit the scoring title. But Crowder with 26.
Chance of MVP coming from the student section. This is a state with Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Braun as well. They're used to MVPs around here.
Thompson with a nice game now. He's got 19 as well. Minute 16 left in the ball game. 80-69 against a team that has held 16 schools below 60 points this year.
You watch Marquette and their pressure. They started early. Just setting up a little three-quarters court pressure, and every time it seemed like Marquette got a steal, they didn't just use a possession, they turned it into quick points. And now in the second half, more of the same. Jay Crowder with that great vision, able to see where that pass is going. Kind of plays like a safety. Little Darren Sharper type of player with those dreadlocks, getting on transition, stealing the ball. What a game he's put together in Marquette. Looks like they're trying to close out a home campaign with only 1 loss. Quite a season as they look to postseason play.
Well, Jay Crowder, player of the week in the Big East. Back-to-back, first Big East player to pull that in this season. And who knows, maybe Monday morning he'll have back-to-back-to-back after this ball game, huh? Pretty impressive numbers he's put up. So now Marquette fans, I wasn't sure if I believed you earlier, but you said everybody in this building except for DJ-O understands how many he needs for the Big East scoring title. He's got 16 and we've got a minute 16 to go. And nobody from West Virginia or Marquette has ever led the Big East in scoring.
Isn't that something? So we'll have a first no matter what. I wonder if DJ-O is going to come to the basket. There's got to be a case here where Georgetown's going to try for the steal. They don't get it right away, they're going to foul.
Here we go, the final 60 seconds of the 2012 Big East regular season winding down here from Milwaukee. Cadogan. No hurry with 80 points on the board. They've got 5 for DJ-O. And he's going to the line. He'll be shooting 2. So watch him wind up with 18 points.
That's the 48th foul in this game. That's incredible. He said this is a physical game, and there have been many more fouls that haven't been called.
Aaron Bowen check again now. And Bowen checks in. Porter goes out with 43 seconds to go. Freshman from Sykeston, Missouri, 19 points. And most of those coming in the second half after Henry Sims fouled out.
Based on the look that Jay Crowder just gave DJO, I'm guessing they know how many points he needs. It was kind of a cringe at the missed free throw. Nice move here by Buzz Williams. Good opportunity to get Jay Crowder out of this game. Get him a well-deserved round of applause.
26 points, 14 rebounds, 5 steals for Jay Crowder. Here comes DJO. He goes out with 16. 4 shy of the Big East scoring title. There's a scramble.
Wow, what happened?
No whistle.
What happened to the whistles?
And Ron Anderson just got off the bench, gets in the scoring column. Another freshman, he being from Oakland. There's the 2 seniors, roommates.
Oh, John Thompson III is about to get a technical. He was going wide there. No fouls called. The end of this game getting a little out of hand.
That's going to do it. We played 40 minutes, and I don't think we heard a whistle for the last 35 seconds. Mike Kelly?
What can you say? Great performance by Marquette. Pretty impressive, putting up 83 points against a very good Georgetown team. Physical game. Both of these teams getting ready for tough games ahead in postseason, both Big East tournament and NCAA.
That snaps a 3-year drought on Senior Day. Hard to believe, but Marquette had lost 3 straight on Senior Day. Not the case for those 2 guys right there. Jay Crowder, 26 points, 14 rebounds, 5 steals. So the 2-headed monster comes up big in the season finale against Georgetown. Final score, 83-69 for Mike Kelly and our entire crew. I'm Mike Gleason saying so long. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN Regional Television, a worldwide leader in collegiate sports. So the Golden Eagles of Marquette, 14-4, number 2 seed in the tournament next week. So long, everybody, from Milwaukee.
It's great to play for Coach Buzz because he brings this, this toughness out of you.
You go to work every day. He expects the same thing on the court, off the court, academically.
It's great. I love waking up and him being my boss and knowing I have to respond to whatever he throws at me that day.
You just love playing for a guy who put all his heart into it. He challenges you mentally and physically every day.
Inside Marquette Basketball with Buzz Williams, Wednesday nights at 5 and 10:30 on Sports.